Hello my beautiful hammerheads and welcome back to Black Library Reviews Part 23. Beasts in Velvet, a Genevieve story. So again, ignore the omnibus. It's the third book in the Genevieve series. But before I go deeper into the review, the amount of Genevieve is comparable to the amount of Frodo's appearance in the first Hobbit movie. And Frodo has more screen time than Genevieve in this book. But ultimately, this is my favorite book in the Genevieve series. Let me explain, because this sounds confusing and I can't blame you. Because this is a Genevieve series, but there is basically no Genevieve in it. And this is false marketing. I have no other way of saying this, but back then, as these novels were written, there was no Marvel Cinematic Universe. There was no DC Cinematic Universe. Because this series is contained of reoccurring characters. They're mentioning each other, they're thinking about each other, and some of them appear one or two times in the books, and this is about a cast of characters, and Genevieve is just the vampire. Maybe it is done this way because of vampires are, pretty popular and you can market them better than, oh, it's the Altdorf cast. So yeah, but this book is amazing. You can see that Kim Newman is a film critic, because this is not only the story of Jack the Ripper, it's V for Vendetta, it's Jackie Chan, and many more actors coagulating in one story. And I love this. Maybe it's because of my age and I have such a connection to those movies, and maybe because I recognized some characters as the actors. Maybe I'm biased. But despite all that, this is Beasts in Velvet is also a clever title. Several times in the book it is used to misguide you in your thoughts. What do I mean with that? So, this whole book is set in Altdorf, the capital of the empire, and so Karl Franz is the emperor because nothing changed in the old world. And we follow the cast of Luitpold, Karl Franz's son, an elector count, his duelist teacher, a dwarf, and I don't know, there are so many characters, but there are killings in the city. All of the victims are women. No one knows who the murderer is. So basically a murder mystery novel, but it goes so much deeper. Because it is about corruption. It is about socio-economic differences. This is about how the upper class has no idea what happens with the common folk. The disrespectfulness of the upper class with the common folk and how they are setting up riots. There is a guy who's, that's why I said it's like V for Vendetta, the guy in the mask, and this time it's not V for Agent Elrond, Hugo Weaving, but it's another dude, but I don't want to spoil it because it's amazing. And all the while, the rioters are gathering and are thinking about, oh, how can we do this? And what can we do? So on, so on. They don't know that Jackie Chan, a ambassador from Cathay, is a follower of Zinj, and with some other Arcanite cultists, they are manipulating the rioters, and this is so freaking good. But still, the main part is about the killings. Who is the murderer? And how do the rioters are using these killings for their purpose? So we have one of the nobles who is gathering some people to find the murderer, because he has the suspicions that his brother, who was under the corruption of Warpstone, and they purified him with a sacrifice of a virgin. They never explain how this works, but yeah, he is pure again, but he is still afraid that his brother is behind these killings. So he employs an old officer and gives him back his badge. He has a scryer who, whenever she touches something, can see the memories of the former person who touched it. I can't explain it, but she basically sees the past and feels the emotions and so on. And this is so beautiful because, as I've said, Beasts in Velvet is also a very good title, as velvet is used in the upper classes for the clothes, and Beast in Velvet is not only for the murderer, it's for the upper classes, it's for the rioters, and for many characters in the book with which you can say, oh, that's the murderer. No, that's the murderer. Oh no, that's the murderer. And it is easy to say that the conclusion of the story is just picked out of a hat, but no, that's not it. The hints are everywhere. My only gripe with this book is, first of all, of course, Genevieve is basically non-existent. There are just 2 encounters with her. One is when the main casts of the characters are walking through Altdorf, and it's like, oh hey, that's Genevieve. They talk to her, and then she's gone. The second time is she is with Detlef, and they're preparing their script for the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde theater, and yeah, that's it. She has nothing to do with the story whatsoever. And the part with the rioters is not as long as I have hoped for, because it's a very good storyline beside the main plot line. But I do understand why Kim Newman ended it where it ended. Oh yeah, and before I forget this, this is set before the second novel. A year before that. She's 667 years old in this book. And yeah, as I've said, only the marketing is wrong with this series. But I really do not know how they could have named this, because it's very weird. The Altdorf novelization universe? I don't know. But yeah, I totally understand why people are disgruntled with the Genevieve series and that she's not in there. Marketing. Again, an addendum. While editing, I realized that I forgot to mention. So this is a fairly mature story, as this is about the different kinds of people are craving different things, and this is not sugar coated with some men are just looking at the breasts of women. One of the lines is her gravity defying dress, and it jiggles like pudding on a plate. And yeah, this only the tip of the iceberg. Back to the original. Also, a thing which I mentioned in the Black Library review part 21 with Gotrek and Felix Trollslayer, in which William King mentions Detlef Sierck in the book. In this one, Gotrek and Felix are mentioned at a siege in Nuln. So somewhere in the future of the Gotrek and Felix series, they will maybe discover some of those. Maybe somewhere in the future, I will discover these characters in the Gotrek and Felix books. I will have to see. Please do not spoil me. I just want the surprise. But also, I love this whole universe in the novels. There are one story and not separate from each other. So all in all, I give this a 9 out of 10 velvet cloaks in Altdorf. It is very well written. There are so many hints to movies, to actors. Oh yes, one of my favorite characters. As with the other books, there were so many German words in here and very old German names. Which brings me to the point in which I discovered that Kim Newman was a film critic. There is a German name, Bierbischel. It's so strange that he uses this name, but she was an actress in Germany. Duh. And here is a female character with the last name Bierbischel, which translated is Hill of Beer, or Beer Hill, word for word. And she's basically like, everything can and will kill you. So go out into the cold, you will die. Eat too less, you will die. Eat too much, you will die. Too much sugar, you will die. This is so funny. And only because I googled the name, this whole small pebble because of a name just transformed into this avalanche of knowledge for me. So thank you, Kim Newman. And also fun facts for you. So if you are looking for a vampire novel, Beasts in Velvet is not for you. It is more of, as I've said, Jack the Ripper, V for Vendetta, a werewolf novel, and some other smaller stuff hinted in there with the horror aspects, which I really, really liked. Yeah, I hope I could help you with this. I enjoyed it so much. If there would be more Genevieve in there, and this would have been a vampire versus werewolf novel as well, to V for Vendetta and Jack the Ripper, this would have been one of my all-time favorite old world novels. Period. But yeah, what are your thoughts about this book? Please leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. I am keen to know what you have to say. And while you're down there, do all the YouTube stuff, because hitting buttons is fun. Have a great day, my friend. Stay fantastic. Stay hydrated. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.